Welcome to a 1v1 on Road to Kharkov.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Paul versus Luvnest. Apparently they're both very surprised to see each other and very much want their opponent to have fun. Good for them. Paul playing as Soviets against Luvnest over Commando West, and it's Road to Kharkov. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who this favors. Previously, I mean, I think Luvnest has a better spawn, but I also think OKW is a little weak this patch. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Folks Grenadiers going south to take control of this fuel point. Stern Pioneers taking control of strategic point right there. Conscripts moving to grab some fuel here in the north. Apparently Paul thinks the Brits are going to be stupid and Luvnest disagrees. Wow. NDA violations already. Great. Thanks, Paul. Oh, there's another NDA violation. Okay. Sorry, Relic. Folks Grenadiers moving in to take control of the munitions right there, and these Folks Grenadiers going to grab the strategic point as well.
Waiting for your command. We have it. This is it.
Stern pilots jump inside the building, fire at the conscripts, dealing pretty heavy damage to them. Have not received any damage in return yet. Nice maneuvering by Luvnest. Good judgment right there. Pulls back away from the conscripts, takes up position in the house. From this range, he may take a little bleed though. Might want to be careful about continuing in this engagement. If Paul can get into green cover against him, that will help. And remember, this house is only one, no, two actually. Oh, no, three. Wow, I didn't actually know that house had 3 north-facing windows actually. Okay. Interesting. I think it's actually kind of hard to tell exactly what they're doing. More conscripts move up from the south flank, and those stern piles are now completely surrounded and need to think of a way to get out of this situation. Haven't dropped any models yet, though. Paul is taking control of everything on the right side of his combat engineers. Folks Grenadiers moving to counter. Let Paul will grab the point and then disengage away. There go Luvnest Stern Piles. They will take at least 2 losses on the retreat right there. Maybe more. They did fall pretty low. Paul's chasing, but I don't think he can get any more. He will get away. Flamethrower upgrade from Paul. Engaging against these Folks Grenadiers in cover. Paul does have conscripts nearby for merging, which he will do. There's the merge. Keep that flamethrower in the field a little longer. No lucky crits yet. And he's not going to keep merging, risk losing either of those squads, and we'll just retreat both. Nice cutoff here by Paul, though, taking control of this sector with those conscripts, throwing up some sandbags. Another squad moving into range to support. MG-34, prevent the construction of those sandbags, push him off the cutoff. Folks Grenadiers may be able to win this engagement against these conscripts if that machine gun can just get a little closer. He doesn't want to get flanked by anything moving to the front line. This 5 conscript opening from Paul is going to mean he has a lot of infantry. Machine gun might be vulnerable if a squad can oorah behind it. So far, Luvnest seems to be pretty okay holding this line, getting his cutoff recaptured here. Folks Grenadiers in green cover there are pretty much fine. Here comes the oorah to try and flank that machine gun. But Stern Pioneers make their way back to the front line just in time, and those conscripts cannot win this engagement. And there's the retreat. Nice timing on the Stern Pios getting back to that engagement. Force Paul away, which means he has set up a brief triple cap, but he's going to have to retreat and heal to avoid taking too much manpower bleed while he gets ready for his next push. There's tier 3 from Luvnest, throwing up a flak half-track to try and counter the conscript spam, but it may be a little dangerous to go flak half-track against this many because they can just spam AT grenades, and Paul has just chosen tank hunter tactics. So he will have access to PTRSs on those as well. So Flak half-track will be useful for a little while. But once Paul hits 3 CPs, it's going to be extremely difficult to use that for any length of time in an engagement. MG34 does manage to suppress one squad right there. 2 squads right there. Folks Grenadiers have thrown up some sandbags facing towards the victory point, which will allow them to have green cover and deny it to his opponent. It's always a good practice to build your cover right next to a capture flag so that it can only be used from one direction, the direction that is most useful to you and not your opponent. So nice tactic there by Luvnest. He does the same thing over on this one, by the way. So that can be a good practice to employ.
Heavy machine gun group ready for action. Enemy movement! Send orders! Contact! Contact! Hands down! Flanking attack!
Stern pile's falling low from a flamethrower burst right there.
Heavy machine gun.
Nice pickup by Paul. That was a late retreat. Late retreat from Luvnest. And I don't think that there was a triple flame crit right there. If you saw the squad's health, it was extremely low. I think they just died. I don't know if there were necessarily any crits involved right there. Should have retreated a little bit earlier. It was pretty deep with those stern piles of low health against a flamethrower and 2 squads of conscripts, so I don't know what I think about that.
Reports. Fallschirmjäger ready for deployment. Losing power!
Wow! Luvnest, what are you doing? Parks that flak half-track with engine damage right in front of those conscripts. He wasn't expecting that AT grenade swarm. That's the first time I've ever actually seen that ability like really do something. Nice pickup by Paul with the AT grenades, and that flak half-track just went down without really killing anything. And now Luvnest is extremely behind, having lost his stern pyos and his flak half-track. His tier 2 structure is just about to complete. Hopefully he can hold this line.
To a static building. Contact! Infantry! Enemy flanking us! Grenada! Veteran C, awarded! No enemy activity. Enemy infantry! Ready!
These 2 squads reinforcing here.
We have secured the target. Standing by. Contact!
That's right, Paul. This is all my fault. This is all my fault for gifting Paul the tank hunter commander. This never would have happened if not for me. Oh jeez. 6 conscript squads now on the field. Luvnest trying to operate on 3 Folks Grenadiers and 2 MG34s. He actually does have extremely good map control right now, but I think it's just a short matter of time before Paul starts getting a lot of territory back under his control because of how well these engagements are going for him. That MG34 has to retreat from this engagement over here on the right from a Molotov, and these conscripts may be able to force those Folks Grenadiers away with the Molotov, but they'll lose this engagement over time if they don't reposition. There is green cover here, unfortunately, from the flak half-track, which Paul will move to take advantage of, but there's an MG34 on their flank, so that squad probably has to retreat. Flamethrower pushes the Folks Grenadiers out of cover right there, and they'll move to try and get the victory point captured, while 2 squads work on the right side, and 1 squad moves to flank the MG34 here on the left. Luvnest is going to try and reposition that machine gun to safety, but he is caught between conscripts and a flamethrower, so the retreat is forced, and there he goes. No forward retreat point unlocked from Luvnest, so those retreats are quite costly. This MG back all the way to the base, this one similarly also back to the base. Over here on the right side, Folks Grenadiers will retreat from these conscripts, which are getting control of the fuel and munitions simultaneously.
Supply half-track is ready for orders. Contact! Small arms fire! Back their line! Run! Run!
Flamethrower jumping inside of this building. sandbags going up right here on the VP. MG34 trying to apply a little bit of pressure. Volksgrenadiers in green cover force this retreat. Paul's up to 3 CPs now, and he has restored a lot of map control, including a triple cap. So the PTRS spam is probably going to begin very soon. These conscripts toss a Molotov right there on those Volksgrenadiers. These conscripts are taking control of a strategic point over there on the right side. Fallschirmjäger make their way to the front line. They have taken a bit of damage from their first engagement. Going to reinforce here on the battle group. Another Molotov on that. MG34 forces it to reposition. Conscripts in yellow cover. Fresh squad moving up into green right here. And this position is proving rather expensive for Luvnest to try to hold. MG over here will push those conscripts away from that point though. And the Fallschirmjäger there will force that retreat. Looks like Luvnest wants to throw up a tier 4 to protect this area as soon as he can, because he has such strong early map control, be able to do so quite soon. Conscripts jump into green cover and medium range, although they are quite outnumbered. Flamethrower on its way to try and support and push Volksgrenadiers from their position in cover. Molotov will get the job done right there. Flamethrower moving up. Tier 3 being built by Paul, and he's also actually still not purchased any PTRSs. Or wait, he must have. Yeah, there's one, two. He has 2 PTRS upgrades in progress. No munitions for any more than that as of right now. He has spammed quite a few Molotovs. That's probably cost him in upgrades a little bit. Once this tier 3 completes, Paul will be able to maybe throw out a T-70, put some pressure on Luvnest infantry that way. Luvnest still doesn't have that much of an army, but he does have a tier 4 structure going up right here. Forward reinforce point, helping him hold map control that way. Plus, of course, Fallschirmjäger, quite potent. Although they're currently doing that stupid thing where they freak out randomly and don't fire. Teleporting between all the windows. That's so annoying. I don't know what the deal is with units in buildings sometimes. Conscripts with their PTRSs destroy some cover and pressure Grenadiers into repositioning a little bit. T-70 is on the field now for Paul, which he should be able to use to get map control and push machine guns off the flanks of the map, maybe also steal machine guns. There's the retreat right now. T-70 may be able to gun that down on retreat if it chases, but is actually going to move towards the center to help Paul's conscripts push towards the battle group headquarters. Briefly engages those Volksgrenadiers, but moves to push away this machine gun instead. It will spot the tier 4 structure and be destroyed by a Panzerschreck shot right there. Overextended itself slightly. T-70 will go down. Paul, seeing that tier 4 structure, is going to field himself a mortar so that he can bombard it from range. Conscripts with PTRSs move up into green cover right here.
Team reports ready for combat. Engineers have secured.
Combat engineers taking control of the left side victory point. These combat engineers heading right to take control of the victory points as well. MG34 has arrived to push away that combat engineer squad, but it looks like they will briefly get the victory point captured. And as for right now, the victory points are pretty even, 271 to 368. Luvnest has a pretty good lead since he's had pretty good map control all game.
Aircraft are standing by.
about 100 points ahead, but nothing too serious, and Paul will briefly set up a double cap to try and even things out. Fallschirmjäger chase away the squad on the right. And there are now 4 conscript squads upgraded with PTRSs on the field, and Paul will get out a second mortar as well to flush his opponent from green cover, knowing his opponent doesn't really have an indirect fire solution of his own, and probably won't for some time. Although I do think personally that Stuka would be a pretty good counter to this strategy. So Luvnest might consider that. Maybe. I think Stuka is a much better counter to this strategy than Flag Half Track, which was Luvnest's attempt. Of course, you do have to be careful of Soviet Tier 3. Stuka will be vulnerable to the T-34/T-70, so something to keep in mind. Luvnest doesn't have that much anti-tank right now, just 1 Panzerschreck. Ooh, that mortar! Did you see that? Wow, retreating Volksgrenadier squad and machine gun wiped right there. That was Luvnest's only Volksgrenadier. Oh my god! Wow, PTRSs are wrecking that squad. Oh my god! That died so quick. That was a 5-man squad in cover. Molotov gives it a flame crit, and then PTRS sniped on retreat. Good lord. And she called this commander everything hunter tactics, including retreating squads. That was kind of dumb.
Enemy movement! On the flank!
MG-34 setting up over here in the yellow cover. MG-34 set up here in green cover. Luvnest basically has no infantry. He has 1 Volksgrenadier squad left and his elite Fallschirmjäger squad against 5 PTRS squads. Paul now basically just needs to find a way to destroy this thing from range. His opponent doesn't have much of a way to counterattack if he does. This infantry force is huge compared to what Luvnest has on the field, but there is a Panther on its way. Panther might have some ability to save the day. It won't be that vulnerable to PTRSs from the front, so that's something, but it doesn't do that much damage frontally either. It'll take it forever to actually chew through this quantity of conscripts, which are basically just walking into this machine gun to try and Molotov it to death. It will try to reposition to safety, but the Tier 4 structure will probably be able to push them away, so Paul might want to try and capture from over here in the corner. Mortars are bombarding the Tier 4 structure from range, and again they're set up in green cover with conscript flamethrower, more conscript protection. It'll be almost impossible for Luvnest to do anything about this, except for with this Panther, maybe. Panther moving to push away those mortars if it can. No top mount machine gun upgrade though, so it'll be even slower at dealing with infantry than normal. Wow, AT grenade penetrates right there, and the Panther's engine is destroyed? Wow. Luvnest has gotten some pretty bad RNG this game, I have to say. That is pretty bad luck, although I think he should be able to get that repaired. It may actually be difficult though with 2 mortars on the field. If Paul chooses to mortar that as it receives repairs, it could be a problem, and both of these mortars are applying damage to the Tier 4 structure faster than those storm piles can repair it right now.
Infantry assault! Mortars! Get down! Get down! Check sights!
Stern piles will be able to repair that Panther and is under no serious pressure. And now a Panzer II is in production. The fact that he had to move away from his tier 4 to repair his Panther may cost him his tier 4 though in the long run, especially with that. If that T-34 moves up to take shots, mortar just smashed those stern piles, taking out 2 of them and halving their repair speed, which means that I think that tier 4 is almost certainly going to be destroyed, but at least it will stay alive long enough to get that Panzer II out. Not really anything more than that though, as it looks like it's going to be destroyed any second, and there it goes. Double mortar proves successful. Nice choice by Paul. There will be no further tier 4 units this game. Panther is struggling to do much of anything over here. Conscripts set up in green cover will be able to hold the line against that Panther for a pretty long time. And I'm not entirely sure Panzer II is the correct decision against this either. Again, I think Sturm Tiger and Stuka are pretty good options. I think Panzer II and Flak Half-Track not so much, because PTRSs just are too effective against them. And the T-34 also has a pretty good chance of being a serious threat to that Panzer II. Panther will be able to push that T-34 away though. Over here on the right side, Fallschirmjäger engaging against PTRS conscripts. Throw a Franz Bull but immediately retreat. So Paul will take the right side engagement easily enough.
Taking small arms fire! Ready to deploy!
MG-34 scares away a couple squads over here on the right side, but Paul does have a triple cap going against Luvnest right now, plus a field gun firing at that Panther. Force that away for some repairs. And with that tier 4 dead, Paul could probably seal the game with a big push. But the burden of pushing isn't really on Paul. I mean, yeah, he could, but I don't think he has to. He's got a triple cap going, and he has 2 mortars with which to bombard Luvnest tier 2. He's still firing it where the tier 4 was, by the way. I don't think he realizes it's been destroyed. He will peek with the T-34 and see that it's dead. So now those mortars are probably going to switch. Yep, they're both packing up now. Going to switch to firing at the tier 2.
Completed. Victory will be ours. Squad back to full strength.
Both barraging the tier 2 structure now. If this is destroyed and Paul's slow creep across the map just continues. Not sure if there's going to be anything Luvnest can do to recover this game. Fallschirmjäger try to make it to green cover to maybe capture the center, but that's not going to happen. They could toss a smoke grenade, like in front of those conscripts, I guess. Although that green cover's not going to last long. Those PTRSs could easily destroy it. Two T-34s on the field, going in hard against the Panzer II right there, plus a T-grenade, easily destroys it. These 2 T-34s are going to engage against that Panther, which may not be able to get to safety if Paul blocks successfully, which he will. It's blocked, I think. Nope, squeezes through, phases through, I think. I'm not sure there's anything Paul could have done to block better right there. You have to spam the stop command, but he does get an AT grenade off to damage the Panther's engine. Paul may want to ram or just get that T-34 to safety. There's the ram going in hard, crushes so much infantry, but it does not get in range successfully. But either way, it doesn't matter. Panther is destroyed. No infantry forces remaining. Mortars bombarding the tier 2 down, and Luvnest does not think he can take this game. GG. Well played, Paul. Allies win.